Welcome to Previously On, a podcast series created to help you through some of the most complex yet brilliant television ever made. Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 10, The Winds of Winter. We begin with Loras Tyrell's trial by the Faith Militant in the Great Sept of Baelor. Loras confesses to sleeping with men, including Renly Baratheon. He gives up his family name and titles and is allowed to join the Faith. Tommen tries to leave his chamber to attend the trial, but is stopped by the Mountain. Elsewhere in the castle, Qyburn lures Grand Maester Pycelle to his lab and has a group of children stab him to death. Cersei's trial is due after Loras's, but she remains in her chamber. The High Sparrow orders Lancel to bring Cersei to the Sept. As he leaves, Lancel notices a young boy creeping around, so follows him to a dungeon. The boy stabs Lancel, leaving him unable to walk. Marjorie realises all of Cersei's enemies are assembled in one room and tries to tell the High Sparrow that something is very wrong. Lancel drags himself towards a light at the end of the chamber and finds an enormous wildfire cache rigged to explode at any second. Cersei's plan becomes immediately apparent. Marjorie tries to leave the Sept with her brother, but the Faith Militant block the doors. Before Lancel can extinguish the flame, the wildfire explodes, engulfing the Sept in flames and incinerating everyone inside. Cersei smiles as she watches the building collapse. Later, she wreaks revenge on Septa Unella, the woman who tormented her during her imprisonment by the Faith. Cersei tells her that she intends to torture her for a very, very long time, before letting the Mountain into her cell to have his way. Unbeknownst to Cersei, Tommen is so horrified by the explosion at the Sept and the death of his wife that he throws himself from the window of his chambers. King's Landing is once more monarchless. In a quieter corner of Westeros, Sam and Gilly arrive at the Citadel, and Sam is granted permission to use the library while he waits to meet the Archmaester. At Winterfell, Davos confronts Melisandre with Shireen's wooden stag, which he found in the ashes of her pyre. Melisandre admits to the sacrifice, conceding it was wrong as Stannis was defeated anyway. Davos asks Jon to execute Melisandre, but she points out how useful she'll be in the war to come, and instead is exiled south. Later, Sansa apologises to Jon for not telling him about the Knights of the Vale, and they resolve to trust each other from now on. She also tells him a white raven has arrived from the Citadel, signalling winter is finally here. In Dorne, Olenna Tyrell meets with Ellaria and the Sand Snakes. She's looking for revenge against Cersei for murdering her family. At the meeting, Varys suggests Olenna allies with Daenerys Targaryen. Daenerys tells Daario she needs him to stay in Meereen while she invades Westeros, as she may need to make an alliance through marriage. Daario protests but ultimately agrees. Tyrion admits to Daenerys he's overcome his cynicism and now truly believes in her cause. To his delight, Daenerys names Tyrion the Hand of the Queen. At the Twins, a handmaiden serves Walder Frey some pie as he waits for his sons to arrive at dinner. The servant tells him he's actually eating his own sons before peeling her face back and revealing herself to be Arya. Walder tries to run, but Arya slits his throat, finally avenging her mother and brother for the Red Wedding. Back in Winterfell, Sansa is visited by Littlefinger, who says he wants to sit on the Iron Throne with her at his side. Sansa leaves without accepting or rejecting his offer. Benjen says goodbye to Bran and Meera, as the wall's magic doesn't allow the dead to pass through it. After Benjen leaves, Bran touches a weirwood tree and sees a vision of his father as a young man. Pay attention now, people. Ned is back outside the Tower of Joy and hears his sister Lyanna screaming inside. He finds her dying in bed after giving birth to a baby boy. Lyanna whispers something to Ned that Bran can't hear. What she tells him is that Robert Baratheon will kill the baby if he finds out he exists, and makes Ned promise to protect her son. It's revealed that Lyanna's baby is none other than Jon Snow. The adult Jon Snow, who we now know is Targaryen with a strong claim to the Iron Throne even if he doesn't, meets with the Northern Lords and the Wildlings and urges them to stand united against the White Walkers. Lyanna Mormont shames the Northern Lords for failing to come to Jon's aid and pledges her allegiance. The other lords follow suit, and Jon is declared king in the north. Sansa looks at Littlefinger, who is watching from the shadows nearby. Jaime and Bronn approach King's Landing and see smoke coming from the Sept, arriving just in time to see Cersei crowned Queen of Westeros, with Qyburn as her hand. The episode, and indeed the season, ends with the moment we've all been waiting for. Daenerys' armada, now made up of Dothraki, Unsullied, the Greyjoys, the Dornish and the Tyrells, finally leave for Westeros. On the deck of her ship, Daenerys smiles as she sets out to reclaim the Iron Throne. Thanks for listening. Hope it's been helpful. Listen, if you've enjoyed this, I would love it if you subscribed. We've got loads more shows where this came from, and we'd love you to join us for them. If you know someone who needs to get up to speed with Thrones, just send them our way. A 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts from would also be absolutely fantastic. If you've got any feedback, have I pronounced a name wrong? I hope I haven't. Or ideas for a show that we should be covering? We'll almost certainly be doing the big ones, but you never know. There may be others that we've missed. Let us know. I'd love to hear from you over on Twitter. You can find us at Previous Podcast, or just email us hello@previouslyon.co.uk. Previously On is presented by Jamie East and is a Daft Doris production.